It's day 3 of Franklin Pierce Olympic coverage, and boy, do we have a story for you.
There's tons of curling, men's hockey, and figure skating.
And today we have Phil Enright back to report some more Olympic news.
All this and more on today's coverage of the 2010 Winter Olympic Games. Hello and welcome to day 3 of our 2010 Winter Olympic coverage. And we have a lot to get to, Mike, so let's start off with your story about hockey.
All right, Nick. Two favorites in the men's hockey tournament collided as Canada faced Norway on Tuesday night. The game was very one-sided, however, as the Canadians dominated 8-0. Robert Lugango stopped 15 shots, and Danny Heatley and Jerome McGinley both recorded 2 goals each. The Russian team was also impressive with an 8-2 victory over Lavin. And NHL star Alex Ovechkin scored twice. The United States plays again on Thursday afternoon against Norway. On the same day, second-seeded Canada will face off against Switzerland.
There's a lot of men's hockey coming up, Mike, and it's just starting.
I know, I'm pretty excited to see what's going to happen.
There's a lot of big NHL people that are contenders in this games.
And I also heard there's a lot of big curlers going on right now. So do you want to report that?
So much curling going on, Mike. In men's curling, the United States team was in a tough predicament as they lost to Norway early Wednesday morning. The matchup was fairly even until a well-placed stone in the 10th end secured Norway a 6-5 victory. Norway lost to Canada in their first match of the round-robin tournament. Moving on to the Canadian men, they were again successful with an impressive 9-4 victory over the Germans. While the Germans won out in a close game against the American men, the Canadians continued their momentum. The Canadians got some rest as well as they do not have a match until early Thursday morning Eastern Time. The United States did not have the same luxury as they met the Swiss Wednesday evening. The match came down to almost the exact same play as the Norwegian game. The U.S. was unsuccessful, sending the game into a thrilling extra end. Switzerland came out victorious, however, with a score of 7-6. Reigning world champions Great Britain defeated the French team 9-4 in an impressive showing. So there's also a lot of women's curling going on, Mike. That's for the rest of the whole games. There's just so much curling.
I'm very shocked on how the men did on Tuesday.
The United States men now have 3 losses, which is kind of depressing. Women have 2 losses. So
they really should have 2 wins with the night's performance and Wednesday's performance as well. It's coming down to that last shot, and they aren't able to connect with that.
It is. It came down to one of the last throws almost every game. But let's go to Phil now, who has our report on snowboarding.
Well, thanks, guys. What a day in snowboarding today in the most anticipated class in the entire snowboarding event. Men's halfpipe qualifications began this afternoon at 4:05 Eastern Time. All eyes were on defending gold medalist American Shaun White, busting out big air and bringing in a score of 45.8 out of 50, putting him in the first place spot for the qualifying round. Taking second place was Ryo Aono of Japan with a score of 43.1, and in third place was American Louis Vito with a score of 41.8. All 3 will automatically advance to the final round. Now, I don't have an update on the semifinals or the medals yet because they have not happened, but I will have an update for you tomorrow on the semifinalists as well as the finalists and the medal winners for the men's halfpipe. Looking ahead, tomorrow will mark the beginning of ladies' halfpipe qualifications starting at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll have an update for you in tomorrow's edition of our Olympic coverage. Later on next week, beginning next Friday, we will begin the parallel giant slalom classes, starting with the women's on the 26th and men's on the 27th. Stay tuned for more daily coverage. I'm Phil Enright, and back to you guys.
Thanks, Phil. Now, I understand, Mike, you have something to talk about with an exciting sport called speed skating.
Yes, I do. Looking quickly at speed skating, we are still waiting for the results of the men's 1,000-meter men's event. The ladies will be going back to the ice on Thursday for the 1,000-meter event. So not a lot of news, obviously, happening with that.
But up-and-coming things for the...
Yeah, but a very similar sport to that is short track, and I'll get right into that right now. 5 events happened on Wednesday, including men's 1,000 and 5,000 meter heats, finals and semifinals. Those events will determine who will participate in the finals. Hopefully USA's Shawnee Davis will be able to win after withdrawing from the men's 500 meter. And in the ladies' news, the 500 meter is going on right now, so we will have those results for you on Thursday as well. There are no upcoming events for the short track until Saturday the 20th, so we'll keep you updated on that as well.
And then we're going to find out during tomorrow's broadcast if Shawnee Davis's move to pull out of the other competition has paid off.
Yes, we will.
Controversial move.
This is a very big United States news because he was supposed to be winning all these medals, and now he pulled out of one thing, kind of making people nervous.
So let's move on to something else the Americans did well in: figure skating. In the men's short program, the current world champion Evan Lysacek of the United States put on an impressive program combining art with athletics. His performance was enough to put him in second place. The first competitor of the series, Russian Yevgeny Plushenko, opened with a quadruple jump that no other man could top, giving him the top spot in the first round. Japan's Datsuki Takahashi came in third, with both he and Lysacek less than a point away from Plushenko's leading score. The medals will be decided Thursday the 18th with the free skating event. So figure skating is heating up with the men's. We'll find out who wins the gold next broadcast, and then the women's will follow that. Okay, Mike, there's also some skiing and snowboarding events over this weekend, so let's go into skiing right now with cross-country sprints. In the women's cross-country sprints, Petra Majdic of Slovenia had a nasty fall into a crevasse before her race, but somehow managed to come back and claim the bronze medal. The women's gold medal went to Norway's Marit Bjorn in an impressive fashion, followed by Justania Kowalski of Poland with silver. In men's sprints, Russia dominated the podium, with Nikita Kruikov claiming gold and Alexander Panshinsky at silver. Norwegian's J.R. Petter Northug received the bronze. And I don't know if anybody saw that fall, but she fell right off the course into a ditch. And I don't know how she fell because it was not a turn. She just drifted off and fell. It was a nasty fall. And how she came back to win bronze.
That's what I'm more surprised about. That just shows tough determination. That's what the Olympics are all about.
It is, Mike. And now you have more skiing, I believe.
Yes, filling in for James today, I will be doing women's skiing. And in women's downhill skiing, the Americans looked impressive, with Lindsey Vonn earning the gold medal and Julia Minusko half a second behind receiving the silver. Austria's Elisabeth Gorgel came a second and a half behind Vonn for the bronze. Very impressive outings for the Americans, though.
Yes, we came back in that event. Now let's go to the medal count. And that event helped the United States come back to number 1 in the medal count with 10, pushing past Germany, who now has 9, France in third with 7, and home Canada and Norway both with 5. So it's Norway came up there, Switzerland fell down a couple. It's going to get interesting.
We're definitely starting to see a separation from the bigger countries, favorites definitely separating from the underdogs.
And Germany and the United States are going back and forth recently.
It should be interesting for the next few days, I think.
Yes. So that ends our coverage for today. Please check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/FPTV25 and follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/FPTV25 for all information about the Olympic events. I'm Nick Caramico.
And I'm Mike Davies.